So today we are going to be talking about the niche zero grinder and also the DF64. Now, if you guys are familiar with coffee, you guys have been around the coffee community, you guys are now just beginning to be home baristas. This is a huge question. If you guys do not have an upgraded grinder and you're looking to kind of advance your area, your workflow, and you guys are on the fence between the niche zero and the DF64. I'm hoping to answer some of your questions today. Now, I do have the niche zero grinder right here, and I have ordered. I'm just waiting on receiving the DF64. So I will be comparing the grinders together, but that's something that I also want to talk to you guys today. So with the two grinders, obviously we have the niche at a 63 millimeter conical burr, and that's pretty much just the way the burrs are aligned. And also you have the DF64, which is a 64 millimeter flat burr. Now, there's some key major differences that I would like to kind of point out between the two grinders. So I first want to start out by saying you can't go wrong with either one. The price point is pretty much there if you're looking to upgrade. Yes, it is pricey. However, it is going to determine the value of your shots that you pull on a day-to-day basis, the way that you can get those tasting notes out of that extraction with those good coffee beans. So definitely worth the upgrade either way you go. Now, something that I want to talk about is comparing. So a lot of people ask me, can you compare the niche versus the Atom 75? Now, I know we're talking about the DF64 and the niche, but I do want to point this out. So I get asked all the time, Dylan, can you please compare the niche and the Atom 75? Now, I don't think that that comparison is fair, and let me tell you why. So, number one, we're just going to start out by the price. So, when you look at the niche comes in at about $610 US. Now, that's expensive, yes, but when you look at that compared to the Atom 75, you're looking at half of the cost. Now, the Atom 75, I purchased this for $1,500. So if you look at it, $600, $1,500, that's more than half the price. So just in that note right there, just kind of going over by taste, maybe, but the big thing is the money. So you're looking at like a Barista Express compared to a Breville dual boiler, so $700 to $1,500. So most people can't afford the $1,500 option, so they go with the Barista Express, which is a really good espresso machine. However, you still have to upgrade even more with the Breville dual boiler. So let's get back on topic here. Just talking about the two grinders here really quick. So you have a flat burr grinder and a conical burr grinder. With the flat burr grinder, you are going to get a lot of different tasting notes than you can experience with a conical burr. So flat burrs, you're going to get more of that chocolatey, nutty notes. So really good for milk-based beverages. So if you find yourself drinking a lot of milk-based beverages, I would definitely say go with a flat burr. Now, I don't know exactly how the DF64 is. Like I said, I'm awaiting the package now. So I did purchase the DF64, spoiler alert, but I am going to wait until I can clarify the difference between the two. However, I can tell you with my Atom 75, I do prefer milk-based beverages better with the Atom 75 because I really can get that nice chocolatey notes out of it. So just for example, I have a bean here. It's called Mexican Chiapas by Good Brothers. So if you guys aren't familiar with Good Brothers, definitely go and check them out. You can use code Dylan20. I don't get any kickbacks for this. It's just I love drinking good coffee, and I would recommend this to you guys. You guys can save 20% off your first purchase. Now, this has the tasting notes of chocolate, nuts, and honey. So let's say I have both of them right now. So I have the DF64 and the niche in my area right now. With these, and I'm going to make a milk-based beverage, I'm going to use the flat burr grinder. Now, can you still get a really good shot and a really good taste out of that milk-based beverage with the niche, which is a conical burr? Absolutely. I'm not going to say one's way better than the other. Now, if you really want to get into the workflow, into just kind of developing that tasting, that palate, I would definitely get the difference between the both. So the flat burr grinder is going to bring out more of the chocolatey and nutty notes, in my opinion. Now, with the niche is really good for, let's see, I'll get just so for a bag like this tasting notes are raisin, fig, and cocoa. So you get more of the fruity, more bright, more, in my opinion, acidic tasting notes. So in my opinion, I look at these and I want to do pour over or AeroPress or French press. Now this is kind of the beans that I will use is for a conical burst. So these I will generally use the niche. Both the DF64 and the niche seem to be pretty easy when dialing in. Now I know you can go from the niche, you can go from pretty much espresso grind all the way to pour over with little to no coffee wastage, which is really good, especially if you're looking for an all-in-one grinder for at-home use. Now, static issues with the niche. I don't really experience too many static problems with the niche, especially when you squirt just a couple drops of water into the dosing cup. It really makes a big difference. So if you have not tried that, or you can take the end of a spoon or a fork or a knife, put that under some water just for a second, and then just go ahead and stir it into the cup with the beans inside. It really eliminates a lot of that static. So one thing that I have noticed on YouTube that I figured I would point out to you guys that I am scared about and worried about, that I hope I can clarify for you, is the static issues and just the cleanliness of the grinders. Now, I can dose a 40-gram dose on the niche. Now, yeah, putting it in here, it's very shallow, so it is a very tight fit. Sometimes beans will fall out, but when I grind it, I hardly have any kind of coffee grounds that splatter outside of the cup, meaning it doesn't make my workspace very messy. Now, if you've seen with the DF64, not so much espresso, but when you go to pour over, you really experience a lot of static. You'll see the coffee grinder itself be covered in just beans, grounded up beans, and also the countertop, you see beans just flying everywhere, shredded beans. So definitely something that I am looking forward to, kind of comparing the two to see if that does happen, especially with using the droplet technique with the water. Now, a couple big points that I would like to point out here. So I did write myself a little cheat sheet here just because I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss anything. Now, the DF64 is a 64 millimeter flat burr compared to the niche, which is a 64 or 63 millimeter conical burr. Now, we've already covered the tasting notes as well, but I do want to look over at just the way these two grinders work. So with the flat burr grinders, you are going to get a more consistent grind. Now, I know the motor is way bigger in the Atom 75 than in the Niche Zero that I currently own. However, I do notice a lot more consistency in the grinds when grinding the beans. Also, I noticed that the flat burrs are a ton more fluffier. Now, this could just be because I just use the Atom 75s as direct dosing. Now, if I use the niche and I dose it into the cup, it looks very fluffy, but then when I go into transferring, it's very hard to prevent clumps. Now, that can all be solved with the WDT tool, but if you don't have the WDT tool and you want it just consistent grinds, it is always better to direct dose. Now, there is a mod, I believe, that Decent owns, or they have a prototype to where you can direct dose into your portafilter. I made one not too long ago, which it was just out of wood. Very simple design. I'll just go ahead and show you guys. It's kind of goofy, but I just thought it was a good way to do direct dosing, which it's worked, definitely has worked, but it is a bit messy. So I was just gonna go ahead and show you guys. So this is the product that I made out of wood. Now, yeah, it doesn't look the greatest. It's not the best, but I wanted just to find a way to direct dose with my portafilter. So it pretty much, once you remove this base, I made a little part right here, which is for the screw, which is the nut that goes into here. Let me just, so right there. Sorry for the camera work. All right, so this just fits right onto here, and it sits perfectly onto the niche. Now, I know this is not the most stylish thing, and I am sorry, but it does do the trick, and I am just going to pretty much show you how it works. So pretty much you just put it right into there, and it holds the portafilter really well, and it does not move when you grind, and it's just a really easy, simple, and cheap way to direct dose with the niche. Now, you can use a dosing funnel. I have also used this for my Linea Mini, so I do like to use the magnetic dosing funnel that I had. So sorry, I'm doing this all at one hand. So if I put this on here like this, I can also use the funnel. So now it's a lot closer, as you can see, and it direct doses. Now, this is the big thing, in my opinion, that's going to separate the niche from the DF64, the DF64 from the niche, is the fact that you can slide a 58 millimeter portafilter right into the slot of the DF64, and it just directly doses, which is going to make for fluffier grinds and less clumps. Now, that is a positive with the DF64 over the niche. However, they are two different kinds of grinders. Like I mentioned earlier, and I'm going to keep mentioning, one is a flat burr and one is a conical burr. So it's really, really hard to compare the two. Now, I would say once I get my DF64 in and I do more videos, I will probably end up keeping both grinders. And the reason being is because, like I mentioned, the tasting notes that you get out of both grinders are just two completely different tasting profiles, which I think is really neat. And as a coffee lover, and just really trying to experiment, just taking some weekends. I mean, there's times I wake up and I just experiment for hours. So if you're one of those people, having both would be absolutely probably the best option. Now, yes, that would be like a $1,200 investment, $1,300 investment to get both. So sorry again for the camera work. But if you're looking back, we're going to take some more notes on here. Both systems can have a bellow. So if you look at the DF64, it does have that bellow system to make it a true zero dosing grinder. Now, Niche does not produce this. This is actually a product on Amazon. It goes right over the niche cup, or the niche kind of dosing area, and it just makes for a single dosing. So you come right in through here, and it's really good for zero retention. So this is about $9 on Amazon, and it's pretty much like acts as a bellows system. So if you look at that aspect, pretty much both the same. Now, more stylish, obviously the DF64 in that area wins, just because it is built into the grinder itself. You don't have to accommodate something off Amazon like this and just kind of keep around to use it whenever you want it. So again, that is another positive for the DF64. So more to note with flat burr grinders. Generally speaking, flat burr grinders are a lot louder than conical burr grinders. I mean, this one, the niche on right here. So I have my mic on so you'll be able to hear it. Very, very quiet. Now you go into something like my Atom 75. Let's see if I can get it just a big noticeable difference there, and that's not even grinding beans. So I don't know if you guys could hear that pretty well, but with flat burr grinders, they are generally a lot louder than conical burr grinders. Now, with flat burr grinders, you also get more heat. So heat can actually play a big role in impacting the taste on your espresso shot. So when it comes to a flat burr grinder, technically speaking, with the more heat that it produces, because there is more friction caused by a flat burr grinder. So with the flat burr grinders, you have two grinders pretty much stacked on top of each other that are just rubbing against each other, that creates high friction. So another thing to note is you are going to expend more energy with a flat burr grinder. Motors are generally going to be a little bit stronger because they have to work harder than conical burrs as well. So without having the DF64 in hand right now, just comparing what I have, I would say that it's really up to you. Do you drink more milk-based beverages? Do you like more pour-overs? I'm a big fan of both. So I think that being able to have both grinders and being able to experiment with both of them in here and on my channel, obviously, is going to be huge and beneficial to me. Now, I know a couple of our subscribers do have both, and they chose to keep, or they're going to choose to keep both. And that's just because, like I said, the different tasting notes that you can get, if you're a coffee enthusiast, it's just something that is a lot more beneficial. So that is going to be the review on the Niche versus the DF64. I will have a lot more for you guys when the DF64 comes in. I did purchase from Speedy 3D Creations, which is from CY. So again, big shout out to CY. I really enjoy helping the coffee community, so that's why I decided to purchase through CY. You guys can as well. I will drop the link when the video ends. I also did create a Patreon account so that you can support the channel monthly. Now, you don't have to. I appreciate all of you guys who just watch the video, who give it a thumbs up. Giving it a thumbs up really, really helps our video, our creators. It really helps us create more content and to be seen. Now, with this Patreon account that I have, all the money that is raised through the Patreon account will be going right back into the channel for new equipment, whether it's tools and accessories you guys want me to review, espresso machines. I will put in my money as well to purchase these as to get more going on through the channel so I can get more stuff for you guys. Also, with the Patreon account, those of you who do support me through the app or through my Patreon account, I will be doing merchandise. So there will be Dylan's Home Espresso Bar merchandise soon to come. I'm hoping to get a couple sweatshirts and t-shirts and just different stuff to put my logo on as well so that you guys can support me that way as well. And I really, really appreciate all of the love and support you guys have shown for me. There's a lot of big plans coming up for Dylan's Home Espresso Bar, maybe under a new name when I finally get licensed, get my other hand back, and then I can start serving the community freshly roasted and delicious coffee. So again, I thank you guys so much for the love and support. I also want to give a shout out to Dane for sending me a super sticker. So this is also a way that you can support the channel as well. It is called Super Sticker, Super Chat. It allows you, during my live videos, you can actually send me money to help me out, and all the money that I raise on this as well will be going into the funds of Dylan's Home Espresso Bar and coming right back into the channel for products to review for you guys to see. So I am going to go ahead and look at some of the questions here. If you guys have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. If you guys need extra help or would like to join me, I will be going on Instagram right after this. You guys can ask me any questions there as well. So let's see. The Niche will be available 24 hours for pre-order, August delivery. So if you guys are looking to get a Niche, definitely jump onto that. It's going to be very, very hard. Just got the email. So let's see. Pretty inventive. Also deliver the base. So yes, Eduardo also says that CY did just create a base for the DF64, which I believe tilts the grinder at a 10-degree incline, I believe. Or actually be declined 10 degrees. So it allows, pretty much it allows gravity to work with the DF64 to allow the beans to flow more freely out to where there is less grinds in the hopper to where you have to use the bellows system. So definitely check out that as well. I will also link that down below once he finishes this prototype. I believe he's still working on the prototype. All right, so thank you guys so much again for tuning in. I know this was just kind of like a rambled on video, but I really wanted to show you guys the main differences between the DF64 and the Niche Zero Grinder. Like I said, I did purchase the DF64. I am waiting for it to arrive. So definitely want to give a shout out to CY as well and 3D Creations for helping me out and finally being able to get the DF64 in here. So have you looked into getting the needle valve for your Linea Mini? I have. So one thing is I'm pretty sure the needle valve that you're talking about is just to help the pressure flow go from a 9-bar to a 6-bar pressure or a 7-bar pressure. I really want to keep it stock right now. I have a problem with spending $7,000 on a machine to open it up and change it up right away. So I really want to just keep using it, kind of dive into it. Now, I haven't dived into the Linea Mini as much as I should have by now, especially with owning it for like 2 months or 3 months now. But I really, really want to, and I'm going to soon enough. As soon as I get this second hand back, I'm really going to show you guys exactly what this thing can do. Now, the only bad thing with the Linea Mini is it is just this paddle. It looks nice, but it's just an on-off switch. So that is one thing that I like, but then again, I dislike about the machine, just because you really have to do everything with technology. So everything is through the app that you can change the pre-infusion, the temperature and stuff like that. I really like more of like a hands-on, kind of like the Lillet Bianca. So I know, Dane, you have the Lillet Bianca, and you can do pressure profiling and stuff like that. That's something that I really like, and hoping that with the people who support me on my Patreon account, I can fund enough money to purchase the Lillet Bianca, so that way I can get more into profiling, pressure profiling my shots and stuff like that, so I can give you guys more of a kind of like a baseline to how you can change the shot of an espresso. I can't really do that with the Linea Mini, unfortunately. However, the Linea Mini I did purchase because, like I said, I'm going to be owning my coffee cart, so it's going to pretty much be my daily driver, that with my Atom 75. So that is why I paid for both of those. I now have my full profile. Yes. All right. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will catch you guys in my next video. I'm hoping to do another live later today, and it's going to be showing you the differences of all the dosing cups that I have here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dosing cups here now. So I want to just kind of compare them, what I like about them, what I don't like about them, and what I believe that the total experience is with each of them. So again, thank you guys so much. If you guys have any questions, I'm going to be jumping on to Instagram Live right after this, so I will see you guys there. Peace.